part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
That sound means it's time for Cavs on the Break NBA podcast for the Press Play Podcast Network. I'm your host, Chase Smith, and with me, he's the NBA writer for hoopswire.com. He's our Cavs insider, national NBA writer, Sam Amico. Sam, I'm glad you're feeling better, man.
Thanks. It was a rough few days there, but yeah, all is well now.
Wonderful. And also with us, the man, the myth, the legend, my very first podcast partner. That's your new intro, Jay. That's your new intro. Jeremy and Akron, JIA. Jeremy, tell us all about this this shoe drive, man. I mean, that was last week. It was incredible. Tell us about it.
Sure. So I'll break it down for you guys a little bit because it's like something I'm really proud of. A few years back, I just decided I wanted to buy a couple kids' shoes for Christmas. And I told my wife this. It's almost overwhelming, and it turned from 4 or 5 kids 4 years ago to entire school, 120 plus kids now. And it's an incredible thing because we have 80 people that participate. So we have 80 people that buy brand new, I'm talking Jordans, LeBrons, top of the line shoes for 120 kids that they will never meet. They get no benefit out of this, just to help somebody have a little bit better day. And I love the fact that we do shoes because not only is it something practical that you need, it's something that kids love, right?
Status too.
Exactly. So it's something practical they need. Plus that, I told you before we came on the air here that, I was feeling sick that day. My truck had actually got broken into the night before. And I was like, how am I even going to do this today? My body hurts. I'm sick. And I get there and we go to the third grade class by chance first. And there's actually a pair of Jordan 1s that my friend had donated that are almost impossible to get. The Jordan 1 revisited, they're called, that re-envisioned, that you had to get in a raffle to even be able to buy. And they were, selling for $400 and $500 right now. And the kid who got them, the teacher, this is crazy. So I told the teacher kind of about it, and I told the principal about it. And then I told him what kid who had landed with this guy as a sponsor, because a person sponsors a kid. And they're like, there is not a better kid in this school to get those shoes. He's the most appreciative kid. He gets really good grades, and he loves basketball and loves Michael Jordan. So just all that, just the stars aligned. I actually bought the kid a second pair of shoes in case he didn't want to wear those. They even have special paper that comes with them. So I got him like a pair of Kyrie's that if he wants to just wear shoes, then he can save those. But that class was so incredible that there was a girl that broke out into tears. The kids were watching each other do it and oohing and ahhing and freaking out. That's awesome. I completely forgot about being sick. It was just such an incredible thing. And now it's a lot of work that goes into it. Obviously, it's a lot of logistics. It's a lot of getting people to go buy shoes. It's a lot of money on my part, but it's a get to, it's something I get to do. Yeah. There's no have to, there's no negative around it. I love it. I would not stop doing it. If I am physically able to do this, I'm going to do this forever because I just love it. And it's just seeing all these people rally. That's the big thing to me too. Seeing the giant group of people that live in a completely different community rallying to help people they will probably never meet, just to brighten their day. It's such an incredible thing. And I just feel blessed to be able to lead such a thing.
It's incredible, man. Plus you get to kind of help maybe a new wave of entrepreneurs if they flip the shoes for a profit. So it's just benefits, man.
You stop. And you know what? If that kid, and that's someone actually said that to me. So what if that kid just sells those shoes or his family sells it? I go, you know what? Then if it helps them, good. Whatever manner we help them. It's like if you give a homeless guy $20, which I always do. If I see someone homeless, I always give them money. If I have money on me, people are like, aren't you worried he's going to go spend it on liquor? Like, no, I'm not worried about that because I don't care because I'm just trying to help a guy. I give him something. So if that family benefits from those shoes in another way, great. That's good. I'm glad. So,
well, what an incredible just thing to do this holiday season, Jay. This is year 3.
This is year 4. Yeah.
Year 4.
4 years.
Okay. If you want to help Jeremy next year, I'm sure he's already taken names. Reach out to him on Twitter at Jeremy and Akron. I want to keep.
I guess, Chase, one thing I would add to the shoe is probably once my kids get a little older, and I'm not running so many youth sports type deals, I may turn this into like if a kid needs a pair of shoes any time of year, maybe a teacher or a school official or parent could reach out to me and I could be able to do this like a year-round thing, not just Christmas. So ultimately, my goal is to be the guy that if a kid needs something in a school and it's a desperate situation and they need some shoes, they can call me and I can at any time of the year get them shoes. I guess would be the ultimate
love it, man.
goal in the end of this. So
do it, man. That is incredible. Thanks for sharing that, Jeremy. John Sable's sitting this one out tonight. John's not feeling the greatest, so feel better, John. We miss you, man. Shouts to Zach for checking this pod out. Guys, here's where we stand right now. And I know Sam hasn't talked much so far in the pod. I promise you he's still with us. He's still here. He is still here.
The ratings probably just skyrocketed because Miko's not going to say anything. This is a good one. No, Amico.
I feel like I just called you Amico because you called yourself Amico. Always call you Sam. So here's where this stands. Week 8 is in the books, and the Cavs are unbeatable at home. No one can beat the Cavs at home. They're blistering 15-2 at the Rock. That's good enough for best in the league. Best in the league. The Cavs are 21-11. They're third in the East. They're 1.5 games back of Celtics, who are in the second spot, and 2 games back of Bucks, who are in first. 21-11 is good enough for the third best winning percentage in the league as well. We're almost a third of the way through the season. And I just want to ask, what are some of your 3 biggest takeaways of this Cavs season so far, Sam Amico of Hoops Wire?
Well, off the top of my head, I would say, obviously number 1 being the addition of Donovan Mitchell, and not just the addition, but it's been, and I think his personality and his character has a lot to do with this. It's been such a seamless fit for him. Yeah. Because he's a pretty relaxed guy as a person, for a guy who has superstar potential and is definitely a 3-time All-Star. He's got a very laid back approach and a very positive approach with his teammates. So I think his personality, when the Cavs landed him in a trade, it wasn't just his talent, it was his personality that they felt like he'll fit pretty fast, and when I'm sure both you guys, when you hear him talk, when you watch him on the court, you can tell what kind of guy he is, and he's a really good guy who not only is super talented, but is, you don't want to just say a good locker room guy, but also a good just a good leader by example. So I think that's been, the biggest takeaway, not to mention the fact that he's capable of erupting for 45 points whenever he feels like it seems, but
and then also knows with that when to pick his spots and when to insert himself and when to say, hey, I need to do something to get the team together. That Pacers game this week in the fourth quarter, he had that jump ball mix up with that rookie Mathurin, or however you pronounce his last name, that they were down by 12 at that point. There's 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and he wrapped up they kind of held it, and he ended up, the ref had to come and separate them. They weren't fighting. They were just not letting go of the ball. And he made sure he left that scrum with the ball and held it up, and the arena erupted, and it kind of ignited this Cavs kind of comeback. He knows when to insert himself, when to drive, when to shoot, when that momentum is needed, Jay. And the Cavs kind of needed that kind of alpha, hey, this is my team, and no doubt about it, Mitchell's that guy, Jay.
With 2 things here at JB said about that moment. He said Indiana found out they broke the cardinal rule. You never poke the bear, and they poked the bear, and look what happened. The second thing is the Cavs are 15-2 at home. You know what their record is when Donovan Mitchell plays at home? 15-0. They're 15-0 in games that Donovan Mitchell plays at home this year. You're right. They found their alpha. Everyone has filled in their roles nicely. Garland hasn't been the leading scorer on this team in a game in 15 games. However, Garland's led an assist in 13 of those 15 games. Everybody has kind of fell into their role, and I think that it's safe to say that Mitchell has not only met expectations, he's far exceeded the expectations we all had for him. I think there was a host of this show that said he would be already the second best Cav ever, and we might have laughed at him a little bit at that time, Chase. But you were right.
Me.
He is.
I said
Chase,
that.
He is already the second best.
Chase has already won the Junkyard Dog Award.
That's right. He is already the second best Cav. And if you really, And with all due respect to Mark Price, Brad Doherty, Larry Nance, Hot Rod Williams, Ward B. Free, all these guys, Austin Carr, Donovan Mitchell is already the second best person to ever put on a Cleveland Cavaliers uniform, in my opinion.
Love that. Sam, are you right there with us there?
Yeah, I mean, what did they play? 32 games? I would say that I haven't seen too many 32-game stretches like this. And really, to me, it was like, I can't believe I'm going to write this, but it's true. When the Cavs beat the Lakers second time, I mean, it sounded so weird, and I think, most people would agree with it, so it's not a big statement, but I wrote, the Cavs have somebody right now who is better than LeBron James is right now. And that's Donovan Mitchell,
Sure.
And to have that, and to think about that, and you think about where LeBron took them. Now, granted, this is still a process here, but when you think about that, that's pretty impressive. And he's, just love what the guy has to say too, and the things he exudes. One of the things that happened the other night in the game was, he coached Mobley. He coached Evan Mobley, and hey, get over there, take another step, get over there on that box out. You missed that box out. The next time out, Donovan had done something, I can't even remember what it was, to mess up on defense. And the coach Greg Buckner, the assistant coach, rode Donovan. And Donovan took it and applied it, and I think that to me is true leadership. You're not just barking out directions and instructions to your teammate, but you're also accepting instruction as well. And I think that's what really kind of makes him a good star for this team.
Yeah, we have a player who's currently better than LeBron right now. Unfortunately, he's not better than Lauri Markkanen right now. Good night. He is.
Lauri Markkanen's been playing extremely well for sure.
No, so I think the biggest takeaway that everyone in Cleveland fandom can agree is that Donovan Mitchell, might be Mr. Cav. I don't know. Here's my second takeaway, and maybe this is a sign for discussion. Garland still has some growth to do. Garland, I think finding his role with Mitchell, finding his role with, a healthy Allen and Mobley together, finding his role as he's growing into what he needs to be. I think he still has some growth to do. And you mentioned, Jay, the last 13 of those 15 games, he's led the team in assists. It does seem like there is potential. Like, he is growing. He is finding his role, which is encouraging, but there's still more growth to do.
I think he's still averaging 21 and 10. I think it is. If we would have told you at the beginning of the year that Mitchell would be averaging 29 and Garland be averaging 21 with 10 assists, I think we'd all have taken that. I mean, our starting backcourt averages 50 points. I looked back, we've never even had close to that in the history of the Cavs. All right. So it's arguable that we have the best backcourt in our history as well. Does he need to grow? Yeah, he still needs to grow. So look, he's barely played 2 full seasons in the NBA, and he played 5 games as a college player. Right. So, I mean, he still has some growth to do, but I think we've gotten to the next level faster maybe than even I thought we'd get there, and I'm always optimistic about it. So does he have growth? Sure. He still has some growth to do, but I think it's happening quicker as a team than maybe I thought it would.
Yeah. Sam, what's another takeaway you've noticed over these first 32 games?
Well, yeah, first of all, that's very true about Garland. I think sometimes with him playing next to Mitchell, we judge Garland a little harsher.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point.
Sometimes, and I also think that he'll really benefit. We've talked about this ad nauseum, but he'll really benefit once Ricky Rubio is back. And he's been very good anyway. Cut down on the turnovers. Okay. Other than that, been very good. And you look at the past week, he has cut down on the turnovers. Mm-hmm. The third takeaway for me is, the fact that it's almost like Evan Mobley and Jared Allen kind of get lost in all this Mitchell and Garland talk when they've been such a huge part of this because of their defense. Mm-hmm. Whatever they give you on offense is great. Mobley is kind of leveled a little bit offensively when you compare him to last year. It's about the same numbers. So he hasn't taken a big step, but there's only so many shots and points to go around. But I think defensively, just having those, especially when they're back there together, just a huge difference. and really working well together, and really have been a big part. You need them both because you don't have Markkanen, you don't have that third 7-footer, but when they're both back there together, it just makes a huge difference in terms of not only defending well at the rim, but getting the break started, getting points, fast break points, and just we didn't think it would work. Remember, we didn't think, what are you going to roll out 2 7-footers who both are basically centers? But it's been a big reason for their turnaround.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, but aren't we first in almost every measurable defensive category now? Points allowed, defensive efficiency. I think the guys are first in almost every one of those categories.
Yeah, and that's correct. They lead the league. They have a net rating of +7, which is tops in the entire NBA. To simplify that for people who don't pay much attention to it, it's basically you're very efficient, showing your efficient team, and they factor defense in on that. So, yeah, defensively, obviously those two guys are huge. Mitchell and especially Garland aren't great defenders. They're good, or at least Mitchell's pretty good.
Better than Garland, yeah.
Yeah, and so to have two guys back there who are protecting the basket and rebounding the basketball is just that are very good at it has been really an underrated topic of this season.
Yeah. One of our diehard Cavs on the break fans, I call them breakers on Twitter. All of our breakers out there said our last episode of the Red Guy was a little negative, and so I feel like this is a little more positive. Kind of going.
I didn't think it was negative. I guess if you have Red Guy on, no, I'm just kidding. No.
Well, no, because we talked about their second half struggles, how they turned the ball over. Like that was like the Spurs game and a couple like other losses where they were just like turning the ball over so much, like the Thunder at home. So, but yeah, no, we're all good vibes today, breakers. Don't you guys worry. Jay, do you have any more takeaways? I have one more I want to share at the end, but I don't know if someone's going to hit on it.
I guess one small negative, if we want to touch on a few little negative things, is it does feel like we play down to the level of our competition at times. That's what I was thinking. We played Dallas at home after beating them on the road with all their players. Mm-hmm. They came here and sat everybody, and we had to, make a run late to win that game and then hold them off. But then look, then we play Utah the other night, and I thought it was one of our, maybe one of our best efforts of the year. An easy win. Mitchell only played 23 minutes. Nice to get him a little bit of rest there. With we got basically 3 big games in a row coming up here with Milwaukee, Toronto, and Brooklyn. So 3 big home games.
Touch on that after the break.
Be nice to it was nice to get him a little bit of rest there. Getting ready for those big guys coming to town.
Yeah. Sam, one of the takeaways I noticed is we have an aversion to the corner 3. Like they're just like terrified to hit that open person or to even make that open shot. And it's pretty glaring when you watch the team. And so that has to be addressed.
Yeah, and I think that they want to address that. It's not something that only we notice. If we notice it, you can be sure that they're, Kobe Altman and his front office team are noticing it. JB Bickerstaff's noticing it.
Mike Gansey's noticing it.
Yeah, they don't have confidence in anybody being able to hit that consistently.
You know who I think could?
With good reason right now.
You're going to say Evan. Yeah, you're going to say Mobley because he hit a big one against Indiana and Dallas 2 games in a row. In the fourth quarter, he hit big corner threes. I'm going to tell you who I think it's going to be. I already told you guys this a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But Alex Burks, who's having a career year shooting the ball.
Yeah, he is.
And as a better defender, he's having an outstanding year. He's had 28 on like 6 of 8 from 3 2 nights ago. And I'm dead serious. I think that's someone who could end up here. I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to end up somewhere. And I think it's a fit here, but I guess we'll have to see how it all plays out.
You don't think the Raptors are going to do a fire sale and trade Siakam or something?
Well, there's rumors that they're going to move. How do you pronounce his name for me? Anabati?
OG Anunoby.
OG Anunoby, yeah.
OG Anunoby, yeah.
There was a report today. I think Zach Lowe, saying that they're looking for a Donovan Mitchell type deal to move him. So We will have to
good
see.
luck. I think that Toronto is a little bit concerned. They suddenly stopped playing well after they play us, it seemed, the last time after they beat the CAVS. But yes, a couple other teams are much more desperate to make a move. I think that the CAVS would like to address their corner three, but if they feel, I don't think it's something they're going to do right now. I feel like it would be something closer, to early February at the trade deadline, where it's like, if we get this one piece, we could even push ourselves better in contention. And the trade deadline, of course, is always when other teams are so much more desperate to make a deal.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at our Week 10 slate, hit on the games that Jeremy mentioned, the Bucks, the Raptors, and the Nets at home at the Rock this week, this Christmas week. Fellas, hey, Merry Christmas. My goodness.
Merry Christmas.
My goodness. Merry Christmas to all the breakers out there. Stick around.
I'm not even close to ready, by the way. But go ahead.
Yeah, we're not either. Yeah. Stick around. We'll be right back. Ohio, listen, I have some great news for you. DrafKings Sportsbook is coming to the Buckeye State, and Press Play Podcast has sponsored with them to help you get the most bang for your buck. And it won't be long until you can bet on all your favorite sports from the comfort of your own home. To celebrate, all new customers will receive $200 in free bets when you sign up today using our promo code P3CAVS. That's capital P, the number 3, capital C, capital A, capital V, capital S, P3CAVS. Plus, 5 lucky customers will win a $100,000 free bet. You heard that right. $100,000 free bet. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving you, right now, if you sign up for free, $200 in free bets just for signing up with our promo code, no deposit required. And you'll be entered to win a $100,000 free bet when you sign up. I just did it. It is super simple. It's easy. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, wherever you get your apps on your phone. It is the best. You'll receive that $200 in your account the moment sports betting becomes legal in Ohio, looking like January 1st. You don't want to miss out on this incredible offer. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966, 21 years, ages, and older. You have to be physically present in Ohio. Eligibility restrictions apply. See terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regulatory license requirements. 1 entry per customer. $200 will be issued as 8 $25 free bets. No purchase necessary for sweepstakes. Void where prohibited. Ends the first day DraftKings is allowed to operate in Ohio. See terms at dkng.co/OH.
What's up, everyone? I'm Holly Wetzel.
And I'm Tiger's Powell.
And we are your hosts of The Orange is Oranger, a Cleveland Browns podcast on the Press Play Podcast Network. We give you all the dog pound coverage that you'll need to get you through the regular season, hopeful postseason, and I'd say off-season, Tyvis, but is there really ever an off-season for this team?
Thankfully for our podcast, Holly, there really never is when it comes to the Cleveland Browns. Don't miss our breakdown of each week's matchup, game recaps, and any and all news out of Berea to feed your Browns appetite. As we know, Holly, dogs gotta eat.
Yes, they do. So hit that subscribe button and never miss an episode of The Orange is Oranger, Cleveland Browns podcast on the Press Play Podcast Network.
Looking for new insights on the Cleveland sports scene with a unique side of Cleveland sports history? Then you found the perfect podcast. I'm John Sable.
And I'm Scott Sable, and we're hosts of the Sable Brothers on the Baseline podcast, a podcast about Cleveland sports, but not your typical podcast about the land's sports teams. Join us as we embark on a journey of sharing a unique and historical side of Cleveland sports history with the help of some former Cleveland sports stars and other historical figures.
All right here on the Sable Brothers on the Baseline podcast, part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
The R&R podcast going to be rocking and rolling with you because football season is underway. College, Ohio State, the Power Fives, the MAC, the Browns. Michael Regai, are you ready to rock and roll with some football?
Kenny, I've been ready. This is our time of year. This is what R&R is all about. We're going to be with you every week. Kenny just said it. Browns, NFL, Ohio State centric. So you got to stay with us all fall and winter long here on R&R.
That's right. The Regai and Rhoda podcast coming to you here on the Press Play Podcast Network. Subscribe now and don't miss a show.
Hey everybody, I'm Gary.
And I'm Jason.
Opening cards as a kid, no matter what was in the pack, you always had that stick of chewing gum. Well, it turns out Gary and I opened up a box of 86 Tops last year, and let me tell you, the chewing gum does not age well.
Join us on the Ball Card Show,
the sports podcast for the sports collector.
All right, Breakers, we are back. I'm just going to roll with this whole breaker thing until someone tells me to stop. And so we're back. Cavs on the break. Jeremy and Akron, Sam and Miko. We're talking Cavs. We're all feeling pretty good about the Cavs right now. The Cavs are feeling good about the Cavs, and we have, I think, maybe an important week ahead for this Cavs team. This Week 10 slate here. Some three kind of let's see where we measure up games. Let's see if we really are who we say we are. That's one of my favorite Kenny Rhoda isms there. Today, you're listening to this on a Wednesday. We play the Bucks at home at the Rock, 7 p.m. Bally Sports. Friday the 23rd, we host the spiraling Raptors, who just, got to make a decision. Are they going to tank, or are they going to, really continue on with the core they got? And then on Monday the 26th, we host the Nets, KD, Kyrie in Cleveland, NBA TV, 7 p.m. Am I over kind of like valuing this week of games, or is this just, let's not get too wrapped up about the end of December 3 games here? Sam, help me out.
I would say that, yes, there is a barometer to it. You don't want to overstate it, but there is some importance. You've lost twice to the Bucks in Milwaukee. They're leading the Eastern Conference. You're right there. This is a chance to prove to yourself a little bit that, hey, the number one team that won a title 2 years ago, and I would say is even better now than that title team. And the Bucks just, they went into New Orleans, who's having a nice season, and beat them the other night. So this is, a veteran team that's been together a while. It's a test. It kind of proves to you where we stand right now. Where do we have to get better to be able to beat these guys? Or look, we can beat them if we play them at home. It is. It's not something you want to say, okay, we got to flip the roster because we lost to them again, or we're going to win the championship because we beat them. But it is a good measuring stick, and then of course Brooklyn, which is right on the Cavs' heels, as well as the Cavs have been playing. The Nets have been playing outstanding. They're a veteran team, have 2 very big stars in Durant and Kyrie. Ben Simmons is starting to look a little more comfortable there. They've got TJ Warren healthy. So I mean, they're coming together after all TJ. That early season. What's that?
I forgot they had bubble TJ, man.
Yeah, I mean, so they have, and the guys like Joe Harris and Seth Curry, nice role players. So if they pull it together, they're going to be, they could potentially be everything that they were supposed to be at one point. So that's a big game at home. That's almost, I think, going to be as big in terms of the way fans feel about it as those old LeBron teams coming to town, because that's a big game. That's kind of a game that you're on the edge of your seat for and you're kind of nervous about because the Nets are really pulling it together, which is not what anybody wanted. So if you're the Cavs, you kind of send them back from their feel-good vibes lately. And of course, Toronto struggling lately. You owe them 1, probably 2 after losing in Toronto. So, that's always a game. Toronto's still physical, plays hard. They just haven't been able to shoot straight lately. So you don't want to let them get going against you either.
Yeah. Jeremy, what are you looking forward to these next couple games?
I'm looking for, the same thing. I want to see if they can extract a little revenge with Toronto, who plays us so physical. And it seems like it's a bad matchup, but like Sam said, they're not playing well. We beat Milwaukee at home last year. How we beat them was we ran 3 7-footers at them all game long, right? We don't have 3 7-footers anymore. We haven't beat them since we don't have 3 7-footers anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how they adjust and how they slow down Giannis. And then I'm really looking forward to the Brooklyn game. Kevin Durant, let's take a minute to give Kevin Durant some love. He is 15 years in the league. He's averaging over 30 a game. He's shooting at a high level, 56% from the field. Think about that. The guy is shooting 56% from the field. He's had 2 major injuries, and he's still playing this well. I don't think he's given enough credit as one of the top maybe 10 players of all time in NBA history. It seems like he's not loved among his peers. I think part of that's kind of the weird stuff with his Twitter stuff and joining other people's teams to win championships still. But Kevin Durant is just still a special player. Kyrie Irving, when he focuses on basketball, is still a special player. Like Sam said, if Ben Simmons comes to his own, that's going to be a team that we're going to have to contend with for the next few years if we are going to be a true contender. So I think that game really is, to me, the most interesting, and will be fun to watch to see where we stack up with them when they're healthy like this.
I'm going to disagree with you there, Jay. I think the more interesting game is playing the Bucks at home. Like us
Fair.
Losing to them in Milwaukee twice, not even close. We need to beat them at home. We somehow always seem to play the Nets well. Even Colin Sexton had that one crazy game where he's just put the team on his back and we beat them. And so
we beat him last year on the Martin Luther King Day special at 1 o'clock in a blizzard. I was there. It was a blizzard. That's where none of the staff made it. So there was no open concession stand. So they give everybody a free ticket on the way out because it was a blizzard, but no concession stand workers made it, but 20,562 made it. So you were in an arena with no concession stands and 20,000 people. It was an interesting day. But but we beat them that day, So
I feel like
we always do play them well. That's a good point.
Like beating the Bucks at home at least will help whatever hurdle or mind block they have. Like, oh, okay, we struggle there, but at least we can beat them at home. And so I think if we lose to them at home, hey, we gotta, maybe we're not as close as we think. So I do think that Nets game is important because you want to have a home play. At this point, we're looking to have like a home playoff series, right? That's like kind of where we're at now. And I think the Nets, that matters with the Nets game, even here in December. But I think mentally they want to beat the Bucks at home.
Yeah. No, I agree. But another thing about the Nets, man, they're so rangy now with Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
When you got Ben Simmons at 6'10" and Durant at 7 foot plus with those long, man, that's just. So if you think about it, man, that's going to be if they ever get it together and can stay focused on basketball and get away from the sideshows, that's a scary team.
So that seems to be asking a lot with them.
I'm
just wondering for the next. I'm waiting for the next fallout.
Did you see though that Kyrie, how he wore his shoes out there with the tape over him and said it's shoe free agent and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And now they're saying that he's about to sign a deal with LaMelo Ball's Puma. Puma's going big now in basketball, and I guess Kyrie's close to getting a deal. Kyrie was not as unforgivable as some other stuff other people have done, I think, was kind of the thought. And now, however, you're right. It always seems like, what's the next thing with Kyrie? Like there's always something else that comes along. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. I think Jock Vaughn has been good for them in the sense that he's a coach who is really a good manager of personalities.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I was thinking that the other day.
So, I think I agree with you too, Chase, that, first of all, if you beat the Bucks, then you don't need to worry so much about if you're the Cavs and you lose to the Nets, because you've gotten past that one hurdle, and you certainly don't, you don't want to walk away from. You've got 3 games left in your season-long 6-game homestand. You don't want to walk away from that having lost 2 of them, especially when you're riding high right now and things are going so well. You don't want to lose to the Bucks and the Nets, and then then you're kind of wondering, okay, we got a ways to go still, clearly. So I think if you beat the Bucks, get that out of the way, you're still feeling good about yourself, and they are a hurdle that you need to overcome. It's pretty clear.
Well, that game is tonight. I wish it would that should be it next year. That's going to be a national televised game.
No doubt.
I'm shocked this year that it's not. But hey, this Mitchell's time this week to put his stamp on the East. It is this week. Bucks, Raptors, Nets, perennial playoff teams that are in the upper echelon of the East. I mean, we're not talking about the Pistons or, the Hornets. We're talking like, Bucks, Nets, Raptors. Mitchell, let's go out and drop 30, 40. Hey, you do you, man. And I'm looking forward to that this week. Any predictions, Sam? Where you at this week? How the Cavs going to do?
I think they'll win. I mean, it's hard to predict against them right now.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're playing, like you said, so well at home. And Jeremy read off the stat. They're 15-0 at home when Mitchell plays. And they didn't look great against Dallas, which to me, I just called that a human nature game, which is you see an opponent come into town without any of their guys, and you're going through the motions.
I'm going to say it 3-0 this week. Let's go. Let's go, Jay. Come on, man.
I'll say 3-0 too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, the way they've been playing, if they play like they did against Utah, they'll beat anybody on their
Sammy's feeling the Christmas spirit. Jay, you're going to be a Grinch. You're going to be a Grinch. You're going to be a Grinch.
I'm not. Here's where I'm going to say, and I'll back it with a thought here, why I think we're going to go 3-0. Because we don't have another road game till the 29th, and it's the holiday season. The Cavs have been home for the past week. They're comfortable. There's no disruption to their family schedules if they live around here. So they have 3 home games, the 23rd, the 26th, right after Christmas. These guys are going to be trying to see their families fly now. The Cavs are going to go 3-0. Based on the fact that they are home, they don't have to go anywhere. They're settled, and they don't have to be, they're disrupt their family stuff for Christmas. I say the Cavs are going to win all 3. There we go.
Imagine the Cavs are going like a 12-game winning streak and then get Rubio back.
Oh, well, looking ahead, you got the Pacers on the road, and then home and away with the Bulls, and then you go on that West Coast trip. That's going to be tough.
Well, the Bulls aren't. I mean, they're in like the Raptors zone. They got to make a decision what they're going to do too.
The Bulls are a mess. I'm not worried about the Bulls. I'm worried when we go out and play the Nuggets, Suns, Jazz, all those guys coming up fairly soon here.
Wow,
beginning of January. Well, tough place to play, and Sam will tell you this. It's still considered
Mitchell
one
knows
of the
every nook and cranny of that
place.
place.
Oh, yeah.
But
it is a tough place. Their fans are very loud.
You got to go to the Nuggets, which Jokic is playing at a level that nobody has ever seen. When every single game you see a little note, first player since Wilt Chamberlain to do this. Every game Jokic plays, but he had 40, 27, and 10 the other night. And then you got the Suns who are starting to round into shape, at the Jazz, at the Trailblazers, and then the Timberwolves, who are probably the most explosive offensive team in the league. I think they scored 150 points a couple nights ago. The Timberwolves are a team
one of the Cavs' 2 home losses.
Yeah, the Timberwolves are that team. They can shoot themselves into the game or shoot themselves out of it really quick. But when they're hitting, forget about it. It doesn't even matter if you're playing good D or not. They're a team they're such a streaky team that they can overcome good defense and still put 130 on you if they're hitting.
Yes.
Or they can score 90 and, but
and shoot 20%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they're a dangerous team. My point is they're a super dangerous offensive team.
Cannot wait to watch. It's going to be great. The Cavs are good. The Cavs are here, and everyone should just enjoy the team we have for the next 5, 6, 7 years or so, hopefully longer, because it's a great time to be a Cavs fan. If you're in Cleveland or wherever you're at, it's a great time to be a Cavs fan. And that does it for this episode of Cavs on the Break NBA podcast. Thank you all so much for downloading and listening. Shouts to the Press Play Podcast Network for making this possible. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Cavs on the Break. We always follow back. And shouts to DrafKings Sportsbook. Download the app, sign up today. Promo code P3Cavs. You got like 10 more days to do this to get the $200 gambling bonus whenever it becomes legal in January. Check it out. Federal restrictions apply. You have to be present in Ohio to sign up to get this bonus. Check out their website, DraftKings.com/sportbook for more information. Follow Sam on Twitter at Amico Hoops. Get all of his works and writings at hoopswire.com and at Wire Hoops. Follow Jeremy and Akron on Twitter, Jeremy and Akron. Jeremy, love the true giveaway. Sam, I think Jay needs the Junkyard Dog Award for the shoe giveaway, right? I mean, that
without question. You know what's funny though? Now that I think about it, I just remembered that I actually led one of my columns the other day with something Jeremy said, and I quoted him.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
I don't
Gosh,
remember
shoot
what
me that
day
one. I got to find that one.
I write so much that I forget, but yeah,
It was a crazy week.
It's going to be his new Twitter background header.
Oh, yeah. I got to go find that. That boy's getting tweeted out later. I had a crazy 10 days here. I didn't get to catch up on stuff. I got to see this.
Right. So Jeremy and John have both been in my columns. Chase, you've actually written for the website.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is it's benefited.
It was a good save there, Sam. For a moment, I was getting
up.
real sad. That was a good save there.
I was gonna make fun of you, but it's Christmas season.
It's all good. Well, Jeremy, congrats on the Junkyard Dog Award. It's like your 20th Junkyard Dog Award. You win it all the time. Sam, any final thoughts?
No, that's it. Other than I'm trailing Jeremy 20-0 in the Junkyard Dog Awards.
Hey, if there's a breaker out there who listens, if someone could send us a tally of like who's won all the like Junkyard Dog Awards over the last couple seasons, that'd be awesome. If there's a breaker out there, we'll send you a gift. I got
and I'll send you a gift if you mention why I deserve it once.
No, we'll figure out something to send you. But if there's a breaker out there, I'm just again leaning in on this breaker stuff, guys. It's I'm trying really hard to make Fletch happen.
I hate to say this, but I love it.
I do too. I like it too, actually.
Send us a scorecard, up-to-date scorecard of who won the Junkyard Dog Award, because we're trying to. I think Red Guy won it last week since he was a guest.
The options were me or him, so of course he was going to win.
Well, that's probably the second time he's won, because his first appearance on the show last year was a legendary Okoro slam, when I'm pretty sure we gave it to him then too. So he probably has more than me. He probably has more than you, Sam.
I think there's no doubt about it.
That's all right. Well, this has been a ton of fun. Hey, Merry Christmas to you both. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. You guys I love you guys. I love talking to you guys every week. This has been great.
All right. Merry Christmas to both of you, and I love you more.
Yep. Merry Christmas, Jay.
Merry Christmas, guys.
See everybody. Mike Breen, take us out. Ho, ho, ho.
Congratulations, Cleveland. Your decades-long wait is finally over. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.